The
sick.
Pro Football Hall of Fame game is tonight. This game has become so irrelevant, we don't even talk about it. There's no starters playing on either side.
Nope.
But the mere fact that football is back for the next 26 weeks starting tonight, how excited does that get you?
You know, I always do like football. I mean, it's something about just when it comes back. I know nobody's playing tonight, but I'm going to still watch it because the people that's playing in this game is near and dear to me because I was in that situation.
Was you, right?
Yeah. So, like, I feel for them. I want to see guys go out there and make plays. And I want to see these guys that, you know, that's not comfortable. You know, these guys, I have to do something in this game to impress this coaching staff so I can be on this team. If not this team, I got to be on somebody's team. And you see a lot of gems in this game. You know, it's a lot of opportunity that's going to be out there. Guys that you might not see them maybe offensive defense when the regular season comes, but special teams, you'll get to know who these guys are from them being big-time special teamers. So I'll definitely be in tune. I did want to see Caleb Williams out there, but I understand why he's not playing.
I was going to ask, will you watch? You'll watch?
Yeah, I'll watch.
Will you watch?
I have basketball tonight, so I won't.
Yeah, I'm not watching.
I would have watched. I just want to see the new kickoffs. More than anything else, I'm more interested to see what these new kickoffs look like, what teams are going to try to do. My gut tells me we're going to see a bunch of creative kickoff returns in the early faction of the season. And then as teams realize it's only 5 yards, we're going to see touchbacks every time after like the week 4.
I don't think you're going to see anything in the preseason. I think teams are going to keep this very, very generic because they don't want to give away anything. You know what I mean? I don't.
But I'm just saying it'll look different. So to me, it'll be creative, even if it's completely standard for what they'll do in the regular season. I'm talking big picture, not the preseason. But by week 4, like by mid-October, we're just going to see touchbacks every time.
I want to ask you real quick. I want to ask you how much, when you're trying to make a team, when you're trying to make a 53, how much of that is reliant on a first preseason game and how much of what they see every single day? Because I would think practice still holds more than the preseason game, but obviously there is some value to the game.
Well, what you just said took me back to my rookie year. So my rookie year in practice, I was like not great at all. And my position coach Dre, he'd tell you, he was like, I don't know. And then I got out there in my first game against Kansas City, and I had this great crackback block for Tyler Lockett on pump block. I almost downed the punt inside on the 1, but I ended up stepping on the line. I'm sorry. Had a I tackled DeAnthony Thomas inside the 20 on my kickoff, and I had a pick. And he looked at me after the game, and he said, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think you was gonna make it. He said, you don't show none of this in practice. So from that moment on, I ended up starting to be on. This is when I realized that I had a better shot of making the team. After that game, special teams-wise, I became with the ones. So like game 2 and game 3, which back then it was 4 preseason games, game 3 is the telling tale. If you with the one starting team on special teams in game 3, it's like, all right, you probably going to make this roster. And it was because of my performance in that game. But practice-wise, I wasn't really doing anything. So what happens is if you do well in the games, they'll think, because in their minds, they're always thinking about, all right, who's the guys that we can cut and then bring back on practice squad? But if you go out there and you ball in the game, it's like.
Put it on film.
And we cut them, somebody going to claim them, so we might have no choice but to keep them.
So with that in mind, Ty, as you look at the Browns and these new kickoff rules for 2024, they have Bubba Ventrone as a special teams coordinator.
It's going to be nothing but returns in the preseason. I'm going to tell you that right now.
But I mean, do you think the Browns have any kind of special advantage knowing the special teams maestro they hired in Bubba Ventrone, who should be able to draw up and whip up some creative creative solutions?
The thing about it is I don't think nobody right now has an advantage because it's so new and nobody had to deal with it. Unless you had a coach that's from the UFL that's dealt with it for the past couple of years, there's no real advantage because this is not something that you've been studying. You know, this is new. Everybody got the information at the same time, and everybody's trying to figure it out at the same time. Now, whoever figures it out first is going to look like a really good special teams coordinator, but at the present moment, I wouldn't say no special teams coach have any advantage it is, whether you played or not. The only advantage you could possibly have is if you did it in the UFL.
Let me ask you all this, because I read like a part of these kickoff rules and special teams rules, the onside kick.
I hate that.
So, like, Tyvis, dive into that. So you can't onside kick with the lead. You can't onside kick to the fourth quarter. Like, what's going on?
Like, they basically took away surprise onside kicks. First of all, you couldn't have done it anyways because everybody's all the way up there, so you couldn't do that anyways. Now, then they said you had to announce when you onside kick. Now they come out and said you can't even onside kick until the fourth quarter. So it's like...
it's because the alignment.
I get that, but still, like,
I know, it takes a
why do I have to wait till the fourth quarter? Like, a big momentum shift is if it's after halftime we onside kicking, we announce we onside kicking and we get it. Like, that changes the whole trajectory of the game.
I hear you, but how many times does that actually happen?
Not a lot, but when it does, it changes the whole trajectory of a game.
It's probably less than once an NFL season.
Probably, but still.
So you're talking about less than 0.5%.
I don't want to listen. Why can't we make the decision? We want to sink ourselves, then let us sink ourselves. If we want to go out there and we think we got an onside kick that's going to work and we want to do it at the halftime to get some momentum, then so be it. But I don't understand why you got to wait till the fourth quarter.
Well, you can't do it from this current alignment.
No, you got to announce it so they're going to bring everybody in.
So they're...
Or bring them back up, excuse me.
I guess they're trying to fix the 99.5%, not the half percent, not the 0.5%.
Precisely.
I guess, I mean, in the grand scheme of things,
I hear you, though, it is fun.
The surprise onside kick was already taken away once you said you had to announce it. So teams wasn't going to do it anyway.
Can you imagine coming out for start a second half? Hey, we're going to onside this.
Hey.
Well, the Super Bowl.
Why you playing?
I'm saying, like, to announce it now. Like, hey.
Yeah, now, see, that's like, I hate that. I actually, because as a front line guy, I love it because that's the thing. Back in the old times when you had to be that front center, the worst position ever, first of all, on kickoff return, if you that front guy in front of the ball on KOR, the worst, because you gotta block the toughest dude on kickoff, and it's the hardest thing ever. KOR, fly zoning and KOR is by far the hardest skill set in football, period. I don't care what nobody say. Open field tackle, trying to block Myles Garrett, trying to check Amari Cooper, I do all of that over fly zoning and KOR. That's first of all. Secondly, when you up there, you can't leave. You got to be a step late because you got to make sure the ball is kicked off.
Yeah.
So, like, you already a step behind everybody else. And one time in my career, I was in college. I was at OSU. We was going against Cal. The dude did that after halftime. They dribbled it. And I actually ended up coming up with the recovery. But I lost the ball in the pile.
Wow, you got out-muscled.
Because I took off, but I was like, oh, snap. I came back, and I dove on it, but the guy jumped on it and had it. And the pile, it was a big pile. And my boy, Ron Tanner, I'll never forget, Ron was in the pile. He's like, you got it? I was like, I ain't got it. He took the
You guys talked to the pile like that?
He was like, TP, you got it? I was like, I ain't got it, Ron. He took the dude face mask and twisted it. And the dude said, he dropped it. I snatched the ball and I got it up. I was like, I got it now.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So all this is going on the bottom of the pile.
Yeah.
You got it? No, I ain't got it. He takes the man.
Twisted dude, dropped the ball. I grabbed it and got up.
So all that stuff about stuff that goes on at the bottom of the pile.
Oh, yeah, it's real. It's real.
I know we go, guys. Can I ask one more question real quick? How much shit is talked in a pile?
You know what? It do get wild.
Wild in the pile.
It is some words being spoken in that pile. Yeah, it's like I say, if you play football, man, you gotta have a little trash talk in you because these people will say some crazy stuff to you.
After the show, I want to hear some
I
pile
got you.
stories. All right, let's talk Little Guardians because we got
Broke
Jason
the man's
Kipnis joining
neck.
us in 11
It was worth
minutes.
it.